My name is Gila Moalem-Taylor, and I'm an associate professor at the Translational Neuroscience Facility at the School of Biomedical Sciences at the University of New South Wales in Sydney. I grew up in Israel, and my name is Gila, which in Hebrew means joy or happiness. And this name is very similar to the word glia, which make up most of the cells in the brain. And funny enough, so many neuroscientists call me glia. And in fact, several years ago, there was a special issue in the science, prestigious science journal about glia. And someone told me, I saw your name all over the Science magazine. And I said, I've never published in Science. It was very funny. Since my PhD, I've been interested in the interactions between the nervous system and the immune system in the context of injury or autoimmune diseases of the nervous system like multiple sclerosis. And in my postdoc, I started working on neuropathic pain, which is debilitating chronic pain conditions that is caused by a lesion or disease of the somatosensory nervous system. And it is characterized by debilitating neuropathic symptoms, abnormal sensations such as pins and needles, spontaneous pain sensations such as burning or electrical shock-like sensations, as well as increased pain hypersensitivity. And most MS patients also experience pain symptoms, including neuropathic pain. And it is also very difficult to treat neuropathic pain in MS patients. And although this pain is a very frequent symptoms in MS patients, it has been understudied in MS research. So my interest in both the neuroimmunology of multiple sclerosis as well as neuropathic pain inspired me to start this research program on pain in MS. And I have also another interesting fact, if it's okay. Interestingly, also my group worked on the animal model of multiple sclerosis, and during COVID in 2020 to 2021, we kind of stopped this research on animals. And in 2022, I organized a topical session on MS pain for the Australian Pain Society conference in Hobart, Tasmania. And one of the speakers in this symposium was Associate Professor Desmond Graham, who is involved in MS Australia and is himself an MS patient. And in his presentation, he described his own journey about MS pain, the symptoms that he has experienced, how this affected his life and his family, and what are the treatments that he tried for this condition. And also he described it as a major burden on his life. And I was very touched by his presentation, and I decided that it's time to restart my research on MS pain. And I'm very grateful for MS Australia to providing me with the opportunity to do so. Over the years, there have been a very significant progress in the understanding of the mechanism underlying multiple sclerosis, as well as development of very effective disease-modifying therapies for the treatment of disease. For me, because I work on pain in MS, one of the most significant development was the increase in recognition of pain as a very specific symptoms that is really a problem issue for MS patients and requires development of pharmacological and non-pharmacological therapies to address this problem in MS. So the current research project is a collaboration with Professor Guanzhao Mao from Chemical Engineering and Professor Karib, a neuroanatomist from UNSW, as well as other UNSW members. And this project focuses on the development of novel nanoconjugate therapies for the treatment of trigeminal neuralgia, which is a debilitating facial pain condition in MS. So currently the medication for the treatment of neuropathic pain are only partially effective, and they are delivered systemically and are associated with very severe side effects. So in this project, we developed nanoparticles, nanoconjugates, that consist of gold nanoparticles that are coupled with a transporter protein and an analgesic drug, which is an approved drug. And we plan to examine and then investigate the transport of those nanoconjugates by applying them in the facial area in an animal model of MS, with the idea that those nanoparticles will be delivered specifically by sensory neurons and will be transported to higher brain center and only to those areas in the brain that are associated with pain, and with the hope to reduce neuropathic pain symptoms using an animal model of MS. Okay, so research into the management of pain has been ranked as a very high priority for Australians living with multiple sclerosis, and delivering drugs in the nervous system is very challenging due to the existence of the blood-brain barrier. And when we apply drugs systemically, there are many side effects because the high doses that are required for systemic delivery. So using this approach of nanoconjugates that we can apply directly to a specific area and deliver with a reduced dose of the analgesic drug, offer the opportunities to deliver very selectively the therapeutic drug into the specific areas that is associated with the pain. And this offers the opportunity to develop a novel therapeutic approach for the treatment of neuropathic pain in MS. Unfortunately, at my stage, I do not have much time to work myself in the lab, but I really enjoy working with students and staff, and I enjoy the intellectual stimulation activities that are associated with my research. I enjoy working with the student on designing experiment, discussing the research project, analyzing the results, and thinking outside the box about solutions to problems related to the specific research areas. And what I see is the most challenging issues in doing research are there are many challenges. So we do wet lab research, and we experience sometimes failed experiments. Sometimes the work is very long. It's very slow. It takes very long to achieve results. Another challenge is to keep up with the growing novel technical advancement in the field, keeping up with the literature, securing sufficient funding, and managing a team sometimes with limited resources. But despite these challenges, I really enjoy doing research and enjoying seeing my students and staff progressing in their own research career, publishing, and discovering new knowledge.